Hello and good morning. Thank you so much for tuning in. You are tuned into Esoteric Guidance, and my name is Nehru. We are going to continue our journey through the Book of Jubilees on this Saturday morning. I believe it's Saturday. Yep, Saturday. So happy 8/17 to you. Hope your Saturday is going good. Whatever you have planned for today, I hope it is enjoyed. I hope it's safe. And I'm just lighting some sage real quick. Again, welcome in Soul Tribe Collective. It's a good and beautiful day. Okay? So we are going to pick up in the Book of Jubilees where Reuben had slept with Bilhah. So that was incest. Yeah. So we will go ahead and pick up here again as we do recap a little bit, going back to the 21st verse of the previous section. And these were the names of the sons of Jacob. Okay, so we're going to go through his 12 sons. They are Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, the sons of Leah, and the sons of Rachel, Joseph and Benjamin, and the sons of Bilhah, Dan and Naphtali, and the sons of Zilpah. Did I say that already? No. Gad and Asher, and Dinah, the daughter of Leah, the only daughter of Jacob. And they came and bowed themselves to Isaac and Rebekah, and when they saw them, they blessed Jacob and all his sons. And Isaac rejoiced exceedingly, for he saw that his sons of Jacob, his younger son, and blessed them. Okay, so Jacob and Rebekah got to see the prosperity of their son Jacob, which they had prayed and declared over him in prior years before him going to receive a wife and that. Also, yesterday I said the main 4 seasons are winters. I said our summer, spring, autumn, something or other. But it's winter, summer, spring, and fall. Okay. I might have picked autumn because autumn is preferred over the winter. I left out winter as being one of the main 4 seasons yesterday, probably because I'm not a fan of winter. I'm not a fan of the cold. I'm not a fan of the snow, unless it's to ski in. Otherwise, I'm really not a fan. I prefer to live in places where you can wear flip-flops if you choose to every day. So perhaps I subconsciously cut out winter because those types of environments do not lend well to golf and motorcycles, which are big recreational activities for me. So, yeah. Also, I've mentioned in other readings about Lot being turned to stone, but it was actually Lot's wife. I think I've said from time to time I said Lot, but it's actually Lot's wife. Yeah, okay. So the next section deals with war of the Amorite kings against Jacob and his sons, Joseph sold into Egypt, the death of Bilhah and Dinah, again Jacob's only son. So one of Jacob's wives are going to pass, or his concubines, and his only daughter. And in the 6th year of this week, of this 44th Jubilee, Jacob sent his son to pasture their sheep. Again, pay attention to all the numbers and synchronicities, names. and his servants with them to the pastures of Shechem. And the 7 kings of the Amorites assembled themselves together against them to slay them, hiding themselves under the trees, and to take their cattle as prey. And Jacob and Levi and Judah and Joseph were in the house with Isaac their father, for his spirit was sorrowful, and they could not leave him. And Benjamin was the youngest, and for this reason remained with his father. And there came the kings of Tephu, and the kings of Aresa, and the kings of Saragon, and the kings of Selo, and the kings of Gaas, and the king of Bethoron, and the king of, Manissacar, and all those who dwell in these mountains, and who dwell in the woods in the land of Canaan. And they announced this to Jacob, saying, Behold, the kings of the Amorites have surrounded thy sons and plundered thy herds. And he arose and he arose from his house, he and his 3 sons, and all the servants of his father, and his own servants, and went against them with 6,000 men, who carried swords, and he slew them in the pastures of Shechem, and pursued those who fled. And he slew them with the edge of the sword, and he slew them Arisa, and Tephu, and Saragon, and Selo, and Amornissacar, and Gelgas, and he recovered his herds, and he prevailed over them, and imposed tribute on them, that they should pay tribute 5 fruit products of their land. And he built Robel and Temnatares, and he returned in peace, and made peace with them, and they became his servants until the day that he and his sons went down into Egypt. And in the 7th year of this week, he sent Joseph to learn about the wherefore of his brothers from his house to the land of Shechem, and found them in the land of Dothan. In the land of Dothan. And they dwelt treacherously with him, and formed a plot against him to slay him, and changed their minds. They sold him to the Ishmaelite merchants, and they brought him down into Egypt, and they sold him to Potiphar, the eunuch of Pharaoh, the chief of the cooks, priest of the city Elu. And the sons of Jacob slaughtered a kid, and dipped the coat of Joseph in the blood, and sent it to Jacob their father on the 10th of the 7th month. And he mourned all that night, for they had brought in to him in the evening, and he had become feverish with the mourning for his death. And he said, An evil beast has devoured Joseph. And all the members of his house mourned with him that day, and they were grieving and mourning with him all that day. And his sons and his daughter rose up to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted for his son. And on that day Bilhah heard that Joseph had perished, and she died mourning him. And she was living in Qatfartef, Qafratef. And Dinah also, his daughter, died after Joseph had perished. And there came these 3 mournings upon Israel in 1 month. And they buried Bilhah over against the tomb of Rachel, and Dinah also his daughter they buried there. So it was a rough time for Jacob. And they, as far as his heart is concerned. And he mourned for Joseph 1 year, and did not cease, for he said, let me go down to the grave mourning for my son. For this reason it is ordained for the children of Israel that they should afflict themselves on the 10th of the 7th month, on the day that the news which made him weep for Joseph came to Jacob his father, that they should make atonement for themselves thereon with a young goat on the 10th of the 7th month, once a year, for their sins, for they had grieved the affliction of their father regarding Joseph his son. And this day hath been ordained that they should grieve thereon for their sins, and for their transgression, and for all their errors, so they might cleanse themselves on that day once a year. Okay. So the wives of Jacob's sons. Okay. So bear with me as I attempt to pronounce these names. And after Joseph perished, the sons of Jacob, after Joseph perished, or so they thought, the sons of Joseph took unto themselves wives. The name of Reuben's wife is Adah. The name of Simeon's wife is Adiba, a Canaanite. That's interesting. And the name of Levi's wife, Melchah. And the daughters of Aram, of the seed of the sons of Terah. And the name of Judah's wife, Bethuel, a Canaanite. And the name of Issachar's wife, Hezekiah. And the name of Zebulun's wife is Neaman. And the name of Dan's wife is Eglah. And the name of Naphtali's wife is Rasul of Mesopotamia. And the name of Gad's wife is Makkah. And the name of Asher's wife is Ajona. And the name of Joseph's wife is Asenath, the Egyptian. And the name of Reuben's wife is Jessica, if the I is silent. And Simeon repented and took a second wife from Mesopotamia as his brothers, because Simeon they were not supposed to take wives from the land of Canaan. They were not supposed to wed Canaanite women. Okay. Rebekah's last admonition is the next section here. Rebekah's last admonitions and death. And in the first year of the first week of the 44th Jubilee, Rebekah called Jacob her son, and commanded him regarding his father and Isaac and his brother, that he should honor them all the days of his life. And Jacob said, I will do everything as thou hast commanded me, for this thing will be honor and greatness to me, and righteousness before the Lord, for I should honor them. And thou too, mother, knowest from the time that I was born until this day all my deeds and all that is in my heart, that I always think good concerning all, and how I should not do this thing which thou hast commanded me, that I should honor my father and my brother. Tell me, mother, what perversity hast thou seen in me? And I shall turn away from it, and mercy will be upon me. And she said unto him, My son, I have not seen in thee all my days any perverse, but only upright deeds, and yet I shall tell thee the truth, my son. I shall die this year, and I shall not survive this year in my life. For I have seen in a dream the day of my death, that I should not live beyond 155 years. And behold, I have completed all the days of my life which I am to live. And Jacob laughed at the words of his mother, because his mother had said unto him that she should die. And she was sitting opposite to him in possession of her strength. Okay, so she looked healthy and everything, and Jacob's wondering, 1606 when I looked over at the video timer, Jacob's wondering, what are you talking about? You're gonna die. You look healthy, you look fine, okay? And she was not infirm in her strength, or in an infirmity of her strength, or lacking, for she went in and out and saw, and her teeth were strong, and no ailment had touched her all the days of her life. And Jacob said unto her, Blessed am I, mother, if my days approach the days of thy life, and my strength remain with me, thus as thy strength, and thou wilt not die, for thou art jesting idly with me regarding thy death. And she went in to Isaac and said unto him, One petition I make unto thee, make Esau swear that he will not injure Jacob, nor pursue him with enmity, for thou knowest Esau's thoughts, that they are perverse from his youth. Okay, so Esau was a rascal from the beginning, or early on. And there is no goodness in him, for he desireth after thy death to kill him. Yes. And thou knowest all that he hath done since the day Jacob his brother went to Haran until this day, how he hath forsaken us with his whole heart, and hath done evil to us. Thy flocks he hath taken to himself, and carried off thy possessions from before thy face. And when he implored and besought him for what was our own, he did as a man who was taking pity on us. And he is bitter against thee, because thou didst bless Jacob, thy perfect and upright son, that there is no evil but only goodness in him. And since he came from him Haran unto this day, he hath not robbed us of aught, for he bringeth us everything in its season always, and rejoiceth with all his heart when he take at his hands, and he blesseth us, and hath parted from us since he came from Haran unto this day, and remaineth with us continually at home, honoring us. And Isaac said unto her, I too know and see the deeds of Jacob, who is with us, how that with all his heart he honoreth us. But I loved Esau formerly more than Jacob, because he was the firstborn. But now I love Jacob more than Esau, for he hath done manifold evil deeds, and there is no righteousness in him. For all his ways are unrighteousness and violence, and there is no righteousness around him. And now my heart is troubled because all of his deeds, and neither he nor his seed is to be saved, for they are those who will be destroyed from the earth, and who will be rooted out from under heaven, for he hath forsaken God of Abraham, and gone after his wives, and after their uncleanness, and after their error, he and his children. And thou dost bid me make him swear that he will not slay Jacob his brother. Even if he swear, he will not abide by his oath, and he will not do good but only evil. But if he desire to slay Jacob his brother, into Jacob's hands will he be given, and he will not escape from his hands, for he will descend into his hands. And fear thou not on account of Jacob, for the guardian of Jacob is great and powerful and honored and praised more than the guardian of Esau. And Rebekah sent and called Esau, and he came to her and said unto him, I have a petition, my son, to make unto thee, and do thou promise to do it, my son? And he said, I will do everything that thou sayest unto me, and I will not refuse thy petition. And she said unto him, I will ask you that the day I die, that thou wilt take me in and bury me near Sarah, thy father's mother, and that thou and Jacob will love each other, and that neither will desire evil against the other, but mutual love only, and so ye will prosper, my sons, and be honored in the midst of the land, and no enemy will rejoice over you, and you will be a blessing and a mercy in the eyes of all those that love you. And he said, I will do all that thou hast told me, and I shall bury thee on the day that thou diest near Sarah, my father's mother, as thou hast desired, that their bones may be near thy bones. And Jacob my brother also I shall love above all flesh. For I have not a brother in all the earth but him only, and this is no great merit for me, if I love him, for he is my brother, and we were sown together in thy body, and together came we forth from thy womb. And if I do not love my brother, whom shall I love? And I myself beg thee to exhort Jacob concerning me and concerning my sons, for I know that he will assuredly be king over me and my sons. For on the day that my father blessed him, he made him the higher and me the lower. And I swear unto thee that I shall love him and not desire evil against him all the days of my life, but only good. And he sware unto her regarding all this matter. And he called Jacob before the eyes of Esau, and she called Jacob before the eyes of Esau, and gave him commandment to the words which she had spoken to Esau. And he said, I shall do thy pleasure. Believe me that no evil will proceed from me or from my sons against Esau, and I shall be the first in naught save in love, and I shall be first in naught save in love only. And they ate and drank, and she and her sons that night, and she died, 3 jubilees and 1 week and 1 year old. On that night, and her 2 sons, and Esau, her 2 sons, Esau and Jacob, buried her in the double cave near Sarah, their father's mother. And again, I often wonder if the double cave is the cave of treasures where Adam and Eve were. exiled to after the Garden of Eden, I wonder. So we covered this also in the patriarchs, in the 12 patriarchs. Okay, we see similar canonical texts or mirrored canonical texts. Okay, as the parents are blessing their seed before they pass, or yeah. Okay. So where are we at here with time? Okay. So I think we'll stop here. The next section is Isaac's last words and abominations, his death and the death of Leah. It's a fairly long section compared to most of them. So we will stop it there for today. Again, I don't like for these to go more than, I like them to be between 30 and 45 minutes. So thank you so much as always for tuning in. Again, this is the Book of Jubilees, the newest series. For those of you who have not seen those videos yet, there's 2 of them that are posted. There's also a playlist posted for that book as well. It's the second book of Enoch. Okay, is the newest series from the hidden canonical text that we are sharing. So thank you so much again for being a part of the channel, Soul Tribe Collective. I send great love to you today. I did get a download in regard to the Andromeda strain, or Andromeda. I will share greater detail of that in another video. Yeah, thank you so much for being a part of what is happening here, what Highest Divine White Light is doing on the channel, and through this vessel. Know that Highest Divine White Light adores you and adorns you, okay? With his love, with his grace, with his mercy, with his justice also, okay? It's not all fluffy rainbows, you know, in the kingdom, the true kingdom. It's not all fluffy rainbows. As we are learning, there are wars that happen in various dimensions, as Enoch is showing us, or continues to show us, even in the second book of Enoch, as he showed us in the first book of Enoch, which covered the Watchers and the Nephilim, and coming to earth and having sexual relations with humans, creating giants, and there are wars that happen in the esoteric. That's why they're happening in the 3D. So why does Palestine fight with this one, and why does this one fight against Israel, and why is this going on in Gaza, and why is that? Because there are battles happening in the esoteric realm. That is why. Okay, and the earthly manifestation are the manifestation of those esoteric battles. Okay? So again, thank you so much for being a part of the channel. Happy Saturday, happy Sabbath to you. Okay? Please enjoy your day. Cleanse your energy. We are still in the Mercury, right in the middle of the Mercury retrograde that officially ends on 8/28, but remnants last until 9/11. That's no coincidence, 9/11. And so, yeah, continue to manifest and bring about the prosperity, the healing of your bloodline that you want to see, okay? Because you have the opportunity to be that change that you desire to see here in the earth, okay? As always, be encouraged.